Hello, welcome back to Airlearn English. My name is Hannah. In today's lesson, I'm going to explain some of the most essential English grammar that all beginners need to know. Our focus will be on learning grammar rules which are essential for daily conversation in English. We'll talk about countable and uncountable nouns, singular and plural nouns, comparative and superlative adjectives, and demonstratives. This is the first part of a two-part grammar video, so stay tuned for part 2. There'll also be a short quiz at the end to test what you learned. Learning grammar and then immediately practicing it is the best way to gain fluency in a language. That's why I love the Airlearn app, because it teaches you grammar in small steps and then gives you real-life scenarios to practice. Let's get right into it. Since this lesson is all about nouns, adjectives, and demonstrative pronouns and demonstrative adjectives, I have to talk about parts of speech. So every word in a sentence is a part of speech. The 8 parts of speech are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. The most widely used part of speech in English, which are found in nearly every sentence, are nouns. You probably know that nouns are people, places, things, and ideas. But let's get more specific about the different types of nouns. Now, one of the first topics you'll learn in English is about countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are things which you can count individually. So apple is a countable noun. You can have 1 apple, 2 apples. Chair, 1 chair, 3 chairs. Idea. You can have many ideas. These are all countable nouns. They have singular and plural forms, and we can use words with them like an, many, few, some, and a lot of. Some examples are, I have a question. She has many friends. We have a few minutes. So if you can add a number in front of it, it's a countable noun. Now, the opposite of these are uncountable nouns, which are nouns that cannot be counted individually. For example, magic, help, money, rice, information, water. These are all uncountable nouns. We cannot say, give me 1 advice, or give me 2 furnitures, because advice and furniture are uncountable nouns. Because such nouns cannot be counted, they also cannot be made plural. This means that we do not add an S to the end of them. So you'll never say monies or informations. Instead, we use words like much, little, some, and a lot of. For example, I don't have much time. She gave me some advice. There is a lot of information online. Now, you've probably heard native speakers use these words a lot: many, much, few, and less. But how can you know when to use them? Well, we use many and few with countable nouns. So we would say, I have few friends. It means I don't have many friends. I have many choices. Means I have a lot of choices, more than 1. So friends and choices are countable nouns, and we use few and many with countable nouns. Now with uncountable nouns, we use the words much and less. There is less sugar in my coffee. I have so much money. Sugar and money are uncountable, so we use much and less with them. Remember, if you can add a number in front, 1, 2, or 3, it's a countable noun. Then we use few and many with it. If you cannot count it, it's uncountable, and we use the words less and much. Now let's take a look at singular and plural nouns, because a very common speaking mistake is mismatching a plural subject with a singular verb. Singular nouns, as you may have guessed, simply mean 1. 1 apple. This is a singular noun. Plural nouns mean more than 1. 3 apples. So apples is plural. Most plural nouns are made by adding an S to the end. Book becomes books. Car becomes cars. But some nouns are irregular, and they have to be memorized as they don't follow any clear pattern. These are words like child. The plural form of child is children. Person, it does not become persons, it's people. Man becomes men in its plural form, and woman becomes women in its plural. Please pay close attention to this. When you use a plural subject, the verb must match. So we would say, the student is tired. Student is a singular subject. There's only one. so it goes with the verb is. Now in this sentence, the students are tired. Students is a plural subject. There's more than one student, and we use the verb are to go with it. We do not say the students is tired. We have to say the students are tired. This small change of matching a singular subject and a singular verb, a plural subject and a plural verb, makes a big difference in how natural your English sounds. We already discussed that uncountable nouns can never be made plural. We don't add an S to them. So remember, we don't say monies or advices. We use words like a lot of or little, some, and much. That's it for nouns. We need to know which nouns can be made plural and which nouns cannot. We use the words many and few with countable nouns, which can be made plural, and we use much and less with uncountable nouns, which cannot be made plural. When a noun is a plural subject, the verb must always match. So we say the child is, the children are. Now, one of the other essential skills that beginners learn is how to talk about opinions and describe things. For that, we use adjectives. But more specifically, we use comparative and superlative adjectives. Let's start by talking about comparative adjectives. As the name suggests, these are used to compare two things, to show how one thing is different from another. Now, imagine someone is asking you about your siblings. Siblings just means brothers and sisters. They may ask, is your sister older or younger than you? They would never say, is your sister more older or less older to you? This is incorrect, but it is a common mistake that beginners make. So let's talk all about the rules for forming comparatives. First of all, in the wrong example, they said older to you. In English, we do not say that. Instead, we use the word than, okay? So comparative adjectives like older, younger, shorter, taller are almost always followed by than. My house is bigger than yours. This exam is easier than the last one. That's the first rule for comparing two things in English. We use the word than. Now, how come we can't say more older or less older? Well, with some adjectives in English, we do use more or less. This is for adjectives with two or more syllables. Let's take a closer look at all the rules and see how we form comparatives. For one-syllable adjectives, we add ER to the end. For example, tall becomes taller. My brother is taller than me. Fast becomes faster. This car is faster than that one. For two-syllable adjectives ending in Y, we change the Y to I and add ER. For example, happy becomes happier. She is happier today than yesterday. Busy becomes busier. I am busier this week than last week. And for adjectives with two or more syllables, we do use the words more or less. For example, beautiful becomes more beautiful. This painting is more beautiful than that one. With expensive, we can use the words less or more. My car is less expensive than his motorcycle. For a few select words, we double the final consonant, so big becomes bigger. She has a bigger appetite than me. Okay. Remember, to compare, we use the word than. With short adjectives, one syllable, we add ER to the end. For longer adjectives, two syllables, we use more or less. So fast becomes faster, and expensive does not become expensiver. We say more expensive. If the adjective ends in Y, we change the spelling. Drop the Y, add IER. Happy becomes happier. And finally, we double the last consonant for some words. Big becomes bigger. That's how we compare two things in English. But what about when we compare three or more things and want to say which one is number one? Which one is the biggest, fastest, best, or more interesting? That's when we use superlative adjectives. Here's how we form them. One-syllable adjectives add an EST to the end. For example, tall becomes tallest. My brother is the tallest person in the family. Fast becomes fastest. This is the fastest train in the city. Two-syllable adjectives ending in Y, drop the Y and add IEST. For example, happy becomes happiest. She is the happiest student in the class. Busy would become busiest. Monday is the busiest day of my week. Adjectives with two or more syllables use most plus the adjective. For example, Beautiful becomes most beautiful. This is the most beautiful place I've ever visited. Interesting would become most interesting. That was the most interesting lesson today. So you can see that the pattern is almost the same for superlatives and comparatives. That makes it easy to remember. Now, superlative adjectives almost always use the word the before them. For example, he is the smartest student in the class. This is the most expensive restaurant here. It's not she is smartest person. It's she is the smartest person. There are some irregular superlatives. These are adjectives which don't follow the normal rules and must be memorized. For example, good becomes best. This is the best movie I've seen all year. We cannot say goodest. Bad becomes worst. That was the worst day of my week. Far becomes farthest or furthest. This is the farthest I've ever walked. One very common mistake I see students making is saying the most fastest or the most tallest. It's simply the fastest, the tallest. You only need one form, either add est or say most. Let's move on to our last topic, which again is very important for daily conversations in English. These are demonstratives. You've probably heard these. This, that, these, and those. Demonstratives are words we use to describe the location or position of a noun in relation to the speaker, both in terms of physical distance and time. They help specify which particular noun is being referred to. Those 4 words I just mentioned are all the demonstratives, but they sound quite similar, so let's go into detail about each one. This is singular and used for things that are near. For example, if I'm holding a single shirt, I would say this shirt. These is plural and also used for things that are near. If I'm holding multiple shirts, I would say these shirts. Okay? Now that is used for far away things. Singular, far away things. So if I see a shirt I like in the closet, I might say that shirt. Those is also used for far away things, but it's plural. So if I want to point out multiple shirts, I would say those shirts. Now, demonstratives can function either as adjectives or pronouns. So let's talk about demonstrative adjectives. Demonstrative adjectives are used with a noun. When they come before a noun, they're called demonstrative adjectives because they describe the noun which you're talking about. So again, this and these are used for things close to the speaker. This book is really interesting. This book is close to me. These flowers smell amazing. Flowers are plural, so we use these. I can also say, this day has been great so far. I'm talking about today, so in terms of time, it's close to me. These cookies are too sweet. Again, cookies is plural, and I'm talking about cookies that are near to me, so we use these. Now, that and those are used for things far from the speaker. That car looks expensive. Those houses are very old. That day was unforgettable. I'm talking about a day in the past, so in terms of time, it's far away from me, the speaker. Those memories make me smile. Again, I'm speaking about the past. So if the demonstrative word is followed by a noun, it's an adjective, a demonstrative adjective. Now, demonstrative pronouns are used alone. The noun is not repeated. When the noun is already known because of the conversation or situation, the demonstrative can replace the noun. In this case, it's a demonstrative pronoun. For example, someone might ask, "What's this?" You can say, "This is my favorite song." So in this sentence, this is a pronoun. Which books do you want? These ones. These ones doesn't have a noun, it has a pronoun, these. Whose bag is that? That is Sarah's. That bag is Sarah's, but that is a demonstrative pronoun which replaces the noun bag. Are those yours? No, those are hers. Again, those is replacing the noun in the sentence. One simple rule to remember is that if there's no noun after the word, it's a pronoun. Let's quickly go over demonstratives one more time. Use this and these for things that are near you, or happening right now, or happened recently. This pen in my hand, these apples on the table. Use that and those for things that are far away or happened in the past. That building across the street, those birds in the sky, that vacation last year. So we use demonstrative pronouns to avoid repeating nouns and to speak more naturally and precisely. One common mistake I see is not matching the demonstrative pronoun with the plural or singular verb. So some people might say, "This are my clothes." That is incorrect. Clothes is plural, so we have to say, "These are my clothes." We would not say, "That are my keys." It's "Those are my keys," because keys is plural. All right, let's move on to our 10-question quiz. For the first 5 questions, decide if it's true or false. The last 5, you'll fill in the blank with the correct word. Number 1, true or false? Information is a countable noun. False. Number 2, true or false? We use the word many with uncountable nouns. That's false. Many money would be incorrect. Many apples is correct. Number 3, true or false? Children is the plural form of child. That's true. Number 4, true or false? In the sentence, "Those are my keys," the word "those" is a demonstrative pronoun. That's also true. Number 5, true or false? The most tallest building is grammatically correct. That is false. Now let's fill in the blanks. Number 6, I don't have time today. Is it much or many? The correct answer is much. I don't have much time today. Number 7, she has friends at school. Is it a lot of or less? The correct answer is a lot of. She has a lot of friends at school. Number 8, fit the word interesting in this sentence. This is the movie I've ever seen. You should say most interesting. Number 9, apples which I'm eating are very fresh. It should be these apples which I'm eating are very fresh. Last question, Paris is than my city. Okay, it becomes bigger. Paris is bigger than my city. Alright, that's it for our part 1 video on grammar that'll help you start speaking English fluently fast. Hopefully that quiz was fairly easy for you. Don't worry if it feels like you don't fully get it yet. If you need more practice, you can always download the Airlearn app. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss part 2. Keep practicing and I'll see you next time on Airlearn English.